All right, and we have a guest from the Digimon TCG Discord, Saac. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Saac on the Digimon TCG Discord. I'm Super Duper Saac over on Twitch, where I'll be hosting Prodigious tournaments with the 1.0 release and everything going forward with the English cards. I've been top three 5 times in about 6 or 7 tournaments. It's been pretty consistent up there with anything from Rookie Rush to Megazoo to Black a few times. So Black has been pretty consistent. I'm sticking with it.
So, why black out of all of the six colors? What makes you want to play this deck?
So black was the only color to get blockers just inherently everywhere. Other colors had to cram them in their champion spot right away, where I liked other options there. So in black, have a rookie blocker, an ultimate blocker, a mega blocker, just anywhere. Whole time I can build up and be protecting my security at the same time. I don't have to sacrifice one thing for the other. It's just all cohesive in black compared to the other colors.
And so, for players looking to get into black, what are the best matchups and then what are the worst matchups?
Well, if you hate Rookie Rush, look no further. People cannot rush you down when you can drop a blocker for every mon they drop down as well. You can't be rushed down. You build up safely. The only thing black really lacks is removal, and that's kind of the thing it struggles against as well. So things like Omnimon and purple will most likely be top tier, and that's a thing black will struggle against. Millie is the only real counter they have to that.
So, with all of this said, what is your favorite aspect of the Digimon card game?
I really love everything you do has a counter reaction with the memory gauge. If you want to play a big body, you might get punished for it. It might not work out. If you want to keep choking your opponent, you might be hurting yourself in that way, just with the limiting your own plays. But yeah, I really like the back and forth of the memory gauge. And deck building in this game is crazy all around. You can go Mega Zoo, you can be huge and just try to swing over everything. You can go aggressive early with rookies and champions, and that can work too. You can be mono deck, which is the most popular thing, and just have a cohesive evolution and build your way through the game.
On display, we have a deck list submitted by Saac regarding 1.0 Blacklist. Can you tell us a little bit about this list?
Yeah, so pretty much identical to what I ran BT2 when Black first came out. The only things that are here that weren't there are the Chumon and the Metal Edamon. Chumon stops opponents from gaining memory besides from Tamers, and Metal Edamon is unblockable, so that can come up. The other stuff that's missing, we had promos for Black really early on. Another Diaboromon line that actually was really helpful. A nice rookie that we're missing on, and a nice blocker that I'd easily cut Gardramon for, the Chrysalimon. But yeah, this is what I run. I really like Wargreymon. Atomic Ray can end the game when they have 4 security. If I got 2 bodies on board, so it can go real fast, or it can drag on with the Millennium on and removing their stuff and blocking everything small.
And so, I have to ask, why the Sumemon? Why not just the 4 Kapurimon?
I hate Sumamon just as much as the next guy, but Black really drags on. I'd say it's like a 50-50. You're going to go through all of your Tamas just to stop the opponent. Throw down your Gatsumons on the free baby, move them out there. You need to have 5. Sumamon sucks, and I really hate when he's not on my Metal Greymon or anything with Reboot, but you got to have 5 in a deck this slow.
And so, my final question regarding your deck build, why the fixation on Wargreymon? Is it solely for the Atomic Ray combo, or is there something else about it?
Oh, Wargreymon is so nice. Wargreymon makes all of your inherits live. He's a huge blocker. Almost all Mons can't swing over him. You need a DP boost, or you need to be one of the vanilla 12Ks. Oh, I think purple is the only one that got a different 12K. The Venom Iotismon. If you're 11, you can try to suicide on me. I probably won't take it, but if I got black tie, I'm gonna be bigger than you.
Do you feel that black as a color is reliant on memory, and so the memory tamer, to be exact?
A little bit, a little bit. We don't have a 2 cost ultimate, So 3 memory is important to get something off. If I've got a Greymon and raising, I can move it out. Metal Greymon, get a quick jamming poke. Same with the next step onto Wargreymon. The 3 memory matters. I mean, there's 2 tie. He's not vital, but it's really nice to guarantee an atomic ray, guarantee a metal gray, or guarantee a war gray for the beginning of my turn.
And do you think black will ever get a 2-cost ultimate?
We better get a 5/2/6. Everybody's got that. 7/2/8, maybe not, but the 5/2/6 we gotta have at some point.
And so the final question is, how do you think this deck will fare in the upcoming meta, and how will it change once 1.5 is introduced?
So in 1.0, like I mentioned before, pretty much the top 3 will most likely be Omnimon and Purple, and those are the struggles for everyone. Black's not special in that category. They can handle green and yellow, but most decks can, it looks like. When 1.5 comes around, Black might get a little boost. We're missing some important things. I mentioned earlier the promos, the Caramon with the plus 1,000 DP on opponent's turn, the Grisali. It's a really nice 4-drop blocker. We're also missing from BT3. Craniumon is really nice into the Omnimon matchup, and Purple. He'll be really helpful. Breath of the Gods, his option as well, giving reboot to something, make those inherits active. That's a card I miss a little bit. Joe, +1 memory if you have a blocker. Really good tamer, a 2-cost. Miss him. But the best card for black is not even a black card. The one I miss the most is Blitzgreymon. Digivolve for 4, de-digivolve your opponent. It lets me put Omnimon in black, which I prefer over Millenniumon. Feels really nice to have that combo on the top end.
All right, and upcoming we will have footage commentated by Saac himself explaining his gameplay and thought process. All right, so we have gameplay footage from Saac against Tessero, which is a really well-known player. So Saac will commentate on his plays and whatnot. And so we see here, Tessero's going first. And Saac, how do you feel about your opening hand here?
No, not great. Not great. It's okay. You can see Tessero has purple. He's got a couple rookies out there. I do have 2 blockers to get out there. What really? Yeah, the Tsumamon.
Yeah, the Sumemon
feels really bad right there. But being able to drop out blockers to stem the bleeding is an okay start. But opening 3 rookies, 2 megas doesn't look good. It's just nice that I filled in on the next 2 draws with a champion and ultimate.
Yeah, and so as a black player, your lineup play here, do you tend to go for more like rookies going wide, or do you like look to go for evolution in this kind of scenario?
I want evolution because I have a full line and I need some draws right here. The only reason I'd have to go wide, if I had evolved that Chew, I could have just dropped 2 Gatsus and he couldn't swing. That would be a go wide, but I want to get up to Wargreymon. I want to get those inherits. But right now, I have a useless baby, and 3 blockers went out. I have my inherits to save for a better line, so I'm just trying to protect myself before I get that out there.
Yeah, and that's one of Black's best qualities, right? How defensive it can be with the absurd amount of blockers within the color, right?
Yeah. Yep. 1k Chumon insecurity actually did something.
Bro. Chumon's a really, really good card, right? We see Vulcan Hammer, we see Lilith. There's another color I feel like gets memories at 1.0, or am I mistaken?
I don't think green got there.
Yeah, green didn't get
cool, man. It stops that.
Oh, true.
But
you stop the starter deck Patamon and whatnot as well.
yeah.
Yeah, big plays.
Yeah. Right here, so I would like to have my Raising Phase Toyagu make my whole line. But he played a mat last turn. I've got 4 memory. It lets me go into, I believe, Greymon. I dropped that out there, yep.
Yeah, and so then you play the Metal Greymon and you lock him to 3 because he's going to go to 3 anyway, right?
Yep, and I've got a Wargrey to go for next turn. So yeah. I don't miss the Kapuri or the Toyagu because I have a Mega with Reboot already set with Wargreymon.
And so do you take into account the color that you're playing against in this situation?
Yes, I'm terrified of Chimeramon right now. Yeah.
So because purple average DP is relatively low, does that factor in for you when you decide to swing and whatnot?
So the only things I really poke with would be my ultimates with jamming or with reboot
Hmm.
and a Kapuri,
Oh,
which
so it
makes me
doesn't.
8k, which is
Right.
pretty safe. Uh,
Yeah.
and there I get the Wargreymon out there. Pretty
Yeah.
safe board right
And
now.
then, so the Metal Greymon and the Greymon both give you +1 security attack as well as jamming for the War Greymon, and that's really, really good as a stack, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Wargrey feels pretty bad without those. It's really scary to swing in and lose him if he doesn't have
Hmm.
jamming.
And not only is War Greymon a reboot mon, so it gets all the inheritables from the Metal Greymon and the Greymon, but it's also a blocker. And so currently we see Saac is fielding 3 blockers against Purple, who wants to go for that more wide strategy.
Yeah, and Tessero has the generic 526 blocker out there in Biomon. You can just see the difference in
Oh, and
that fitting into his
there's the
aggressive style.
Beelzemon.
Bielsa gets rid of Guardro, which I don't miss that much.
It's not Chrysalismon, right?
Chrysalimon's so much nicer, but
Why
uh,
why is Chrysalismon so much nicer for you?
not able to attack at all is so
Mhm.
bad, and so I'd need 3 memory to be able to attack with it. I'd have to evolve into an ultimate. Um,
Right. Oh, and we see the
yeah.
Millenniummon taking away the Beelzemon from the board. Why not leave it as War Greymon to get the reboot?
Purple. So he had a Bielsa ready to Millennium on me,
Hmm.
and he also can Trump Sword my Wargrey because I have reboot. So 2 forms of destruction that could hit me next turn. So
Right.
it's better to have a vanilla Millennium on than lose my stack entirely.
Right, and you also deny the vengeance from, say, Devimon because of the Gazimon. Or even then, you get the Millenniummon to revive itself, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I'm worried about vengeance
Hmm.
at all. I wouldn't waste a blocker to save a revivable
Right.
Millennium on. So.
And talking about the Chrysalismon, for those of you that don't know, Chrysalismon, and correct me if I'm wrong, is a 4/2 cost-wise blocker with, I want to say, 5,000 DP, right?
Yep, yep.
5,000 DP, and it is able to attack, unlike the Gardramon.
Yeah, yeah, it's really nice. All of Black's champions, if I swapped out my Guardramon for Chrysalimonn, would be 4 cost,
Hmm.
which is fine if you don't see a rookie, or 4 cost or less, because Numamon is 3. So
Right, so it's just
a
really
brick
cost
isn't,
efficient.
yeah, a brick is really hard to find in Black, a true brick.
Do you think that's one of the advantages Black has over the other colors, being you have expensive level 5, but to make up for it, you have relatively cheap costing level 4s to make it so you brick less often?
Uh, yes and no. I would trade for a cheap level 5.
Mm. Yeah, and as we saw, the Devimon actually did come out, and it did destroy the Millenniummon, but because Millenniummon revived itself anyway, it was still a favorable trade for Sat.
The only thing that really changed because my Millenniumon was already vanilla, it didn't have reboot.
Yeah.
It just lost its revive. So if it does hit a million security, it will die and it won't come back now. But it already got its value getting rid of a
Oh, and there's
Devimon.
the Metal Edomon, the one-up we discussed earlier.
Yep, unblockable. He's
So
nice.
if the Millenniummon did have reboot, say from a Toy Agumon, would you have blocked with the Gazimon?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
that's very valuable. +1 in jamming. Uh, yeah, that I would have had game in that scenario if he had +1.
Right.
I definitely would have saved for that.
And we do have game on board currently, but
hmm
you have to BM, right? With the double Haguru Numemon.
Honestly, didn't notice. I didn't realize I had game right there. But yeah, it fell over from the turn before.
Right.
Tessero didn't look like he was having a great run.
Mhm. And so that for everyone is just a little bit of a showcase of what Black can do, being really strong top end with the Wargreymon and all the inheritables, as well as the abundance of blockers we see able to wall off the go wide strategy that is commonly employed within the Digimon card game. And so, closing thoughts. Anything, Sack?
Yeah, just want to reiterate black is very good. Other things can outclass it. Omnimon is very hard to keep up with. But when black came out, BT2, uh, Omnimon, and all the other colors had much more support. Pretty much everything got a little bit less with this 1.0, so the meta's a little bit different. Things could shape out a little bit better, more in black's favor, because they got all their core stuff, and everyone else lost a little bit more. So those nerfs might hurt a little bit more for those other colors. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Black looks good. Can't wait for 1.5 and get some more help and see how it fares against the rest.
Okay, and thank you everyone for watching, and hope you guys come to see the next video for the next guest star.